How's my jawline look?
Sorry, we'll Photoshop it in, mate.
Start by telling me your name.
Harley Hetherington.
And how long, Harley, have you been at the FA?
Just coming up to 2 years.
And your current job title?
National Referee Officer.
Can you describe your role in 3 words?
Interesting problem solver.
Key areas of focus in the role?
Lots, to be honest. There's some processy stuff, so fitness testing, finance, international transfers, reporting on our strategy. There's some stuff that sort of changes day by day, so utilisation of our social media, potentially engage with match officials, sometimes the bad side of it and sending bad news, sometimes the good side and sending good news. Done a little bit of RLOing for some of our cup finals. Very random, very different, I think every day is different.
Saying every day is different, what does a normal day look like?
I don't know. It's a case of, I normally have some sort of structure in how I sort of do my week, or how I do my month. So there's one day per month when it's basically solely finance. There's one afternoon every week where it's social media stuff. There's a morning when it's more around like scouting and our step 2 match officials. So every day is a little bit different, and sometimes your plans can go out the window at 5 to 9 when you've suddenly got to provide like a strategy report for a member of the FA Referees Committee or the Council. So every day is a little bit different, but I think it keeps it really fun. I suppose the excitement of not knowing what you're going to do next can be quite interesting.
So you touched on fitness testing. What's that process like for, say, level 4?
So you, normally, or the plan is that you get an email around January by telling you the dates. So this year we had 28 dates across June, July, August, September. Normally as a level 4 you probably go, I'm going to do that test. Always advise people try and do June and July, because as soon as you get into the season you feel like you're playing catch up. So get yourself booked on. So MOAS invites normally come out month prior. So for June, they normally come out a little bit last minute actually, and then for July they'll come out after the June tests and so on and so on. Get yourself booked on. When you book on and you get the MOAS email, you'll get the audio file, so I always recommend practicing it at least once. I tend to find in my own experiences, if I've done a fitness test once, I kind of get to grips with how it works, because obviously you've got that interval run. You have your BP forms, you want to make sure you've got that booked in. Don't leave that to the last minute, because I know a few people have left to the last minute, obviously when you're panicking a little bit. Get your BP form done. Obviously, all goes to plan. You turn up on the day and you successfully complete the test. Not the case for everyone. Some people fail and it's fine. Like, there's no tracking of this person's failed. Like, it's not like that at all. It's just, right, you've not passed, invited to next month's. Not passed, invited to next month's. If you get to September this year and you've not done it, you then get an email, like, have you been injured? Do you want to submit any evidence? And then any submissions are presented to our fitness testing panel. And it's very much a case of we really want to help our match officials. So someone's come to us with a situation they've been put in, we'll try and support them, offer them a mop-up test in December if possible. Or it might be a case of saying, look, you've got a serious injury or you've got a personal circumstance, we'll have the season out and we'll come back next year. So it's very much if we engage with our officials and they engage with us, we'll always try our best to look after them.
What do you enjoy the most about the role?
I kind of like the engagement with referees. Can sometimes be the worst part as well, when obviously you're not having conversations you want to have, but we've got 40,000 referees in England, the most we've ever had, and I look and go, every single one of those 40,000 referees cares about what they do, they take pride in their work. If I can benefit them in some aspects on their journey, I take real pride in that, and hopefully we can help people get to where they want to get to in the game, whether that be I want to get to level 4, I want to get to level 3, whether it be I want to go and do a county cup game, or whether it be I just want to enjoy refereeing and I want to have a good experience of it. So hopefully we can make that difference.
Proudest moment?
It's kind of weird. One thing that really stuck with me, I was the referee liaison officer for the Women's Cup final this year. It was quite a nice moment for me because it was working with a team match that I'd worked with myself in my own officiating. So we had Stacey in the middle, Kerry and Isabel on the line, Megan was 4th and Anastasia was the reserve AR. It was a really big moment for their career, possibly the biggest game they'll ever do. And to be able to be a part of that, to be able to be on the pitch from at full time and just get a team photo with them, I was like, you know what, this is one of the biggest things you're doing. I've been a part of that special day for you. So I think that was a really touching moment, to be honest. I was able to sort of share that experience.
So FA refereeing strategy, how do you report on that in your role?
So I think one thing I've tried to introduce is more transparent in our numbers, I suppose, from just a quantitative data perspective. So there's aspects of it whereby we'll do our monthly social media posts. We've got X amount of referees, we've got X amount of women match officials, X amount of black, Irish, mixed heritage match officials. So it's that transparency of actually refereeing in a really good place. We've got the most amount of match officials in every single one of those categories we've ever had. We've also retained more match officials this year than we ever have done. So it's a transparency of that. But then other side of it, it might be preparing a report for the FA Referees Committee when they meet. It might be preparing a report for the football operations team on a monthly basis about some of the qualitative things that are going on in the team. Most recent report would have talked about some assistant referee training. It would have talked about upcoming level 3 and 4 road shows. Would have talked about Women's National League events and the Women's National League conference that took place. And another aspect as well is potentially even organising things like this series are doing now. It's people from FA refereeing talking about their role and essentially saying, actually, this is what we're trying to do to benefit match officials, and sort of trying to get that message out there that we're really in the business of making the match official experience as good as it can be.
How do you think the world of refereeing is changing in your experience?
I think we've become more open and honest. I don't think it's like a closed shop. I think it's a case of engage with us and we'll support you. I think it's a case of celebrating the success of the match officials. I think there used to be a real fear about saying the wrong thing, or maybe putting your head a little bit above and maybe feeling like that's not the right thing to do. I think the way it is now is we want to engage with our people. We want them to feel welcome and feel part of that FA refereeing family. There's millions of people that play football, and there's thousands of people that referee. You go to a football club and you're a member of that football club's family. We want you to be part of our FA refereeing family, whether it be at the county FA level, whether it be at the national FA level.
What are your targets for 2026?
I think the big one is just to continue that trend of trying to improve referee experience in any which way I can. From a personal perspective, if I can have a positive impact on at least one person, I feel like I'm doing a job. Obviously, we've got 40,000, so it's how many of those 40,000 can I positively impact?
If there's a referee who's currently officiating in a different country and maybe going to relocate to England, how can they do that?
So we have quite a lot of match officials come over as international transfers, come over from all over the world. It's very much a case of they normally get in touch with their county FA, where they're moving to. So it might be I'm moving to Birmingham, I get in touch with the RDO there. It might be London, I get in touch with the RDO there. We normally then sort of gets forwarded onto myself. We get in touch with the National Association, just ask for a bit of a letter of introduction. It's very much a case of this person officiated at this level in our country. We take that information and go, right, what is the appropriate level in the English system we can put them in? And that very much ranges from professional game all the way down to level 7, and it's a case of going, what's the best fit for this match official based on their own experiences and sort of where they want to go as well. If they come over and say, look, I only want to run the line, okay, where can we pop you in a system that will allow you to do that because that's your experiences? But it's interesting because we get a wide range of people, whether it be FIFA listed match officials or whether it be someone who's just done the course and wants to bring their qualification over, and we always try and make sure they get the sort of best opportunity that suits their needs.
So we've seen the introduction of scouting. Is that something for match officials to be wary of? You know, it's not someone hiding behind a tree, obviously, but what does that actually look like?
No, it's. I think one of the things is to improve referee experience and improve the referee's performance. We've introduced it at step 2, so National League North and South, and then also Women's Tier 3 and 4, so Women's National League Northern and Southern Premier. One of it is the case of all your games are going to be watched. Hopefully it improves that key stakeholder experience of the clubs, that referees maybe don't change their approach for someone sat in the stands. Obviously with scouting we don't have people in the stands on most occasions. It's actually a case of someone's going to watch your game back and they're not there to critique, but there to upskill and develop you. So the game takes place, the scout gets access to the video footage, it's always pre-appointed. They'll then go through and sort of write a report based on the 5 pillars of the FA refereeing DNA. So it's your technical performance, your tactical, your social, your psychological and your physical performance. A really big thing we're trying to sort of train into our scouts is if someone gets a penalty decision wrong but is brilliant for 89 minutes, that can still be a really good referee. So it's a case of actually, it's a more holistic, take a step back, is this a good referee? It's not something to be scared of, it's something to sort of be embraced, because actually it's a case of go out and referee how you want to referee and referee what you feel is right, and then we'll have someone there that's going to try and either A, support you and provide clips to potentially upskill that for you, or B, actually praise you for what you've gone out and done, rather than having that feeling of someone sat in the stand coming in afterwards and then that might be dictating your afternoon.
Hardest part of your job?
I think it's for difficult conversations, giving bad news. It does happen sometimes. I don't like it. I'm not the blunt person, but sometimes you have to be on emails, and sometimes sending an email to someone that isn't the news they want is quite difficult, because every fan number is a person, every email address is an individual behind it. So it's sometimes difficult, and I try my best to try and word it in a motive manner that will hopefully resonate. But it can be difficult sometimes when you're sending people news they don't want.